What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today, we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to be saving my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
Great. How are you, Mr. Kevin?
I am well. I
Good.
am well.
I
Uh,
have been highly anticipating this interaction.
okay, let's do it.
So, you know what? I'll get started. I have a few questions for you.
Before
Um,
that, why don't you tell people your name?
I'm sorry, my name's Tawana.
All right. And how did you come across my content?
So, I'm in a few social media groups that post your videos often.
Mm-hmm.
And also
Are
I'm
these
on a
Facebook group?
show.
Are these
I'm sorry.
Facebook group? Are these Facebook groups?
Yeah, Facebook groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Are they run by men or women?
They are run by men because I'm on a show called Lapeef,
Uh-huh.
and that show is ran by men as well.
Okay.
And so we often talk about your perspectives.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So a lot of your critiques are probably about some of my comments,
well,
which is
uh,
fine.
well, my perspectives are perspectives that honestly men have been sharing for the longest in barbershops, on basketball courts, in places where men used to be able to speak freely like men.
Yeah.
So it used to be all right for men to be able to be honest about what they thought, but we live in a culture now to where men are
Sorry.
canceled. So, as a matter of survival, men just don't say anything, but the actions are speaking. So, most women seem to have an issue with my tone. But what really never happens is people never really argue the points I make, the facts, the data, statistics. It's always about the man.
Well, I'm definitely going to change that. Okay. Because I don't believe that you're wrong. Okay. I think that you just have no flexibility, no room. And the reasons that I think that is because, for instance, why do you even ask women to rank themselves? Why do you think it's important for them to judge themselves, especially when you're
Okay,
not really
you
going to
gonna
consider the whole of them anyway, right?
you
You're
gonna let
just going
me
to rank
answer?
them based on the surface level.
What's my profession?
You're an image consultant.
Right. And what does an image consultant concern himself with?
But then here's my concern.
No, no, no,
But,
no, 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 no. You asked me, and you got to let me explain it. You
okay,
can't.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
An
I'll
image
let you explain.
consultant. An image consultant is concerned with what?
Well, are you only concerned with
Okay,
the
we got. I'm
image?
answering the question. Okay, see that. Well,
I'm
an
asking
image
because I don't know
consultant.
what an
An
image.
image consult. Okay, have you ever
I
been
don't
to a
know.
Have you ever been to a hairstylist?
Yeah,
You don't ask them to clean your teeth.
absolutely not.
An image consultant is concerned with your image, and I style men and women. And the men, and I'm only, and most people don't need an image consultant. Middle class people don't typically need image consultants. This is a service for the top 1%, and I'm in the service class, the 20% that services the top 1%. But in that group, there are men and women. I'm working with women who want to become the best version of themselves for personal and professional reasons, men who want to do the same. But one thing that I started to notice was that my guys were coming in for personal, many for some for professional, most for personal reasons, wanting a different outcome in dating. And when they came in looking like this and came out like that with a complete image, appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint, ABCD, a complete makeover, a new man. They were more and more of my black clients were coming back saying, I'm not seeing any women on my level, my new level, where I'm achieving to. I can't find anyone. I'm hearing women who arguably are coming back saying they can't find these men. These two people existed. So I'm having a conversation that my female clients are having, my male clients are having. Now, why do I concern myself with image? Because it matters to who I'm talking for. Men, we are visual. It matters. And I don't think that women today really understand who men are and don't understand how much it matters. So it seems superficial when it's not. Go ahead.
So, but attraction, yes, it's the initial thing that, gets the relationship going. But is it really truly going to sustain a relationship, right? It gives women this false perception that really all they need is looks
Well,
in
no,
order
no,
to.
no. I see. That's the other thing. I, I, I never said that.
But you say fit, beautiful, and cooperative,
Yes, it gets
right?
you in. Okay, just like being ranked high in an organization gets you an interview for management. It doesn't guarantee. I never say, and here's the thing, I am not a one stop shop to say, well, if you do this, you're going to be able to be happily married. That's not even what I do. My job as an image consultant is help you nail that first 7 seconds. If
Mm-hmm.
you fail that, you can't even get to the date. There are other people who help down that path. There are things I can do along that way with interpersonal communication, soft skills, communication skills, things like that. But I'm not trying to be all things to all people. But if you notice, I asked the same questions. When I spoke to men, I asked the similar questions. What are the questions that because you ladies are familiar with the height, weight, dress size, all that other stuff. But what are some of the questions I asked men?
That's a good point because I have not seen any videos where you talk to men. Most of the videos that I've seen, specifically the women. So the
For three,
men, to me, they look like they just have no depth, like they can't see beyond the physical. And I understand that the
well,
physical characteristics are important.
for 3 full years, I've talked to men and the videos are there. So it's not as though the work's not there. Most people don't want to go do the work. When I talk to men, one of the first things I ask, age, marital status, kids. How many hours ask you your income? How much are you making annually? How many hours a week are you working? I asked them a lot of questions about production. For 9 weeks, I had a show called The Lion's Den, which was like where Shark Tank meets The Voice. And we were actually talking to men coming in a mock Shark Tank environment, talking to business owners, trying to help them get one thing to another. I have always told men, I don't want to hear your broke problems. I think men should pay 100% of everything, regardless as to what a woman has. If you ain't working 60 hours a week, or if you're not working 60 hours a week, in my opinion, you're lazy. Get off of YouTube, get off of social media. I have always been very direct with men, but here's the thing. Even that video that went viral about that woman, they went back to a video I did in January, which is arguably far more savage. But you know the difference? That man who got that savage treatment thanked me, booked a session with me after that, and became a client, has improved since then. When people tried to use that video to come at me, he actually came out and said, no, 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 no. I thank that brother for what he did because it helped me with a reality check to get my life on track to do what I'm doing now. Men take the criticism and either eat the meat, spit out the bones. Women, on the other hand, decide to destroy you instead of looking and say whether or not the criticism is valid based upon the outcomes
Well,
they want.
I think most of it is that it sounds like the men are really focused on physical characteristics, right? They want these
Okay.
women who are fit, who are cooperative, who are beautiful. And then are these women are even trying to settle down with them, right? Like, how do they know that their expectations of women are not contributed to low marriage rates?
Okay.
And I
Okay.
just feel like how are high
It sounds
value
like these
men.
men. Okay. You asked two. Are you making this? It sounds like
Well,
these
I
men
guess
are.
these are rhetorical questions, but I'm just wondering, are high value men even looking for marriage? Because some of the characteristics that
That's how
they
we got here.
describe, yeah.
That's how we got here. I asked a question back in fall of the winter of last year. What do rich, wealthy, what do rich and wealthy, middle class, lower upper class, and upper class non-black people know and understand about marriage? Men know and understand about marriage that they marry, divorce, and remarry in the current environment that middle class and lower upper class black men don't. And I got savage for asking black men about this. Those questions on Instagram, the videos are still on YouTube. Why are men afraid of marriage? Go back. They're all there. Everything that all my critics have to say that I don't do is all there. And what came out of this was women wanted men who were high value. And I defined what high value meant outside of simply money. Then I also asked these men who are high value men who I know, who I'm a part of, who have been around for 20 plus 30 years, what do these kind of men want from a woman that they want to marry? My show is about marriage.
Well, it seems like a supply and demand issue. The things that they want, are they even finding? Because it's so unrealistic.
Who?
These men, these high value men.
The things that what do they want?
From what you tell me, they want these fit, cooperative, beautiful people, but they have no other substances that they like. Do they want transparency?
Hold on, let me stop. Okay. See, what I don't do is what you continue to do. I don't judge people for what they want. You keep judging men for what they want. That's not
I'm just saying that that's going to contribute.
But my thing is, Tawana, if someone comes to your restaurant and orders that 300 pounds and come order a triple cheeseburger, a large fry, and a Coke, are you going to sit there and ask them about their health? Or are you going to take the order?
Kevin, when you going to help them shift? The world is shifting.
No.
So you're going to help them stay on the same level.
No. See what you just did.
You're going to help them physically.
No. See, you keep skipping. I've already done that with the men. See, the presumption.
See, you call us out, but you don't call us out.
The presumption has always been that the problem is with the men. And that is where the data comes from. My show has proven that there are men out here who are upper class, who are middle class, upper middle class, and rich and wealthy who want to marry Black men. Mm-hmm. The problem is they can't find women suitable for marriage, fit for marriage. So
because they're targeting women who are emotionally unavailable.
No, that's your perception.
It is my perception. It's my perception based on what you've said. They're targeting women
they have lived their life just like you've lived yours.
And these women do not want them. These women, beautiful, cooperative women do not want them. That is why they're having trouble finding.
No, these are the women who don't want them. That's not true either.
Okay. All right. I'm just telling you what it is.
If it were, then why do I have 3 people engaged right now in under 3 months? And I can't keep fit.
3 out of how many?
Doesn't fucking matter. Women. Oh, see, now, this is what we do.
I'm just telling you.
No, man. See, this is what we do. First, we say it's not something, then you prove facts, data, statistics, and you move the goalpost. Why don't you say, you know what? 8 couples got together in 3 months in a Facebook group. I'm not even a matchmaker. And 3 engagements happened. 2 who are verified put videos on YouTube. And instead of saying, that goes against what I thought, you say, well, why don't you have 20?
I commend you for that. I do think that that's important information.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question.
Okay. Please.
Where are the women like yourself and the women who are my critics? Where are you producing relationships?
Well, that's not my platform. You're an image consultant.
It's not my platform either.
Yeah, maybe I can change.
But you asked me, where is this? And I produce something that ain't even my platform. Where are the people who are writing all the books, the self-help gurus, the love doctors, and all these other things that people follow that make millions off of this? Where are the relationships?
I just think you have a powerful voice, and I think your perspective don't leave room for change. And that's why nobody wants to receive love the way you describe it. Nobody wants to feel that.
You don't.
Okay.
You don't.
I'm sorry,
Tawana. I'm sorry. The numbers say different.
To have fun, yes, but to trust someone with my heart, to trust someone with their heart.
You keep going back
to sustain.
This is what I've noticed with you.
Yes, tell me what I
filter everything through your perspective. And it doesn't matter if 2 + 2 is 4. I can tell you 8 couples got together and you're still saying, yeah, but that ain't enough.
Well, you got thousands of followers. I mean, we got to put it in perspective and ratios here.
No, we don't. Steve Harvey has sold millions of books. Where are the marriages?
Okay, but how is that going to shift the marriage?
But the point is, see, why? And my question again, why do you keep asking one Black man to fix the world? And you ain't asking none of this from Black women. Where are the Black women to fix the world?
I want you to make it where we can work
I don't want to
together.
do another damn thing. Where are you going to help?
What you
Because
need
I
me
don't
to
know
do?
what I'm doing. When are y'all gonna come fix it?
What you need me to do? Because I'm ready.
I
I'm
need you to
ready to
get.
do
I
it.
need you to get these women fit. I need you to get these women fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive.
If I thought that was going to make them more marketable, I would do it.
That's what the men say they want.
That's what they say they want.
Oh,
But
so now you know. So now I want you guys to understand something. Now the men say they want this, and she's not, and she says she wants to help, but she don't want to give the men what they want. So
what?
again,
I'm just
you
saying
want
they're
to give the
picking
men what?
quality.
No, ma'am. You want to give the men what you think they want.
Okay, are you listening? But are you listening to my perspective though? Are they picking qualities based on things that's definite to change? It's very shallow.
You keep saying shallow. Okay, Tawana. Let's go down that path. It's shallow, and that's what they want. They want cheese.
Okay, so
pizza.
what matters beyond fitness?
They want cheese pizza. Tawana. They want cheese pizza.
Okay, what matters beyond fitness and beauty?
They want cheese pizza.
Tell me that.
They want cheese pizza.
Okay, so there's no room to move.
They
I guess
want
we're
cheese
stuck
pizza.
then.
No, no, we're not. We're not stuck.
we both stuck.
We're not
that's
stuck.
all
No,
we gonna talk
we're
about.
not. We're not stuck. See, I don't know if you realize this, but I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
And I hope you hear this.
I hear
Black men have grown tired of being told by women like yourself what they should want and how they should want it. They're sick of it.
Well, I didn't tell them what they want. I asked them. I challenged why they want that.
And you don't have
and
the
will
right.
That help?
And who are you to challenge what these grown damn men say they want?
Who are we both to tell people?
No. But see, if someone were to challenge you that way, you would feel some kind of way about it. And here's the thing: these grown damn men who have made themselves who they are, this is what they want.
Well, it just sounds like a business deal to me. So I guess our values don't match anyway.
So what?
That's how marriage is to them.
So
what?
So what?
Marriage,
like it or not, marriage has always been a business deal. I'm sorry, go back to the old countries. People didn't fall in love. There was no long dating. There were arranged marriages. What are you talking about? Even in the Black community.
It doesn't stop there, though. It's the core, but it doesn't stop there. And that's what you,
at the end of the day, okay, who controls access to marriage? Men or women?
Well, I think it's men because they have the power.
Right. So if men are the ones, the consumers, the buyers, and women are the sellers, if men aren't purchasing enough marriage, is it the problem with the men or the problem with the women?
It could be a problem with the expectations and being
on what
unrealistic.
Side?
On the men's side
okay,
as well.
So you want to go to and men are tired of hearing this. Sorry, sir. You've got the credit rating. Okay, so let's take it your way.
Okay.
The problems with the men. The problems with the expectations. So don't say shit when he go marry Becky.
Well, what about when she go marry John?
Nobody. Black men don't complain when Black women marry out.
Well, it doesn't happen that often. 93% of the times
no. See, that's the thing. When I said don't complain because if you said the problems with the expectation, that means the expectation is too high. Then if that's the case, and if he goes and gets it met outside of the race, don't complain because he made the expectation clear that he wanted. You have an opportunity to hear the expectation and meet it. You chose not to. He took his business elsewhere. Don't complain.
So I just think it's no flexibility.
Okay, then why, if there's no flexibility, why are Black men in this country 2 million less than you and 847,000 more marriages?
I think that, like you said, men control marriage, right?
No,
so they control that.
The reason the notion, if there was no Black men are more married than Black women. The inflexibility, Tawana, is on Black women's side. You know why? Because no sane human being can tell me that men want women that weigh more than they do at their height. Black men have been consistently saying they want 3 things from Black women for my life.
You don't watch 600-Pound Life, then.
Okay. No, I don't, because it's.
I'm just saying the women all have men.
Okay, and if you expect that, then go get a broke dude.
Listen, I'm not saying that I want to be.
Okay, but that's the point. And see, this is what happens when Black men say what they want. It becomes a joke. Everybody,
It's not a
every other group,
joke.
it really isn't. I don't take it as a joke because every other group of men can make expectations and demands of their women. Black women almost want us to act like a hyena clan, where there's a matriarchy, where we do what the women say. Well, men aren't doing it. Bottom line is, men have said enough. Black men have been asking for my generation, the previous generation, and the generations after for three simple things from women: cooperation. Black women have become far less cooperative in my lifetime. Fitness. 8 out of 10 black women are overweight, and 80% of that number is obese. Failed that number too. And then just wear your own natural hair. We got a $10 billion hair care market, and yet our boys are at the bottom. I said this: take $9 billion of that money we put on your head, put it into your boys to raise a better crop of men. Because if you don't give a shit about the men who are walking around right now, fine, we ain't shit. We're all horrible. What about the boys? You cannot build.
It's
You
going to be a
cannot build,
challenge.
huh?
It's going to be a challenge for them if
Why?
they are only focused on those superficial things. That's
No,
all
there's
I'm
going to be a
saying.
challenge for them if they're it's going to be a challenge for them if they're raised by the same women who are inflexible with the men, with the adult males.
I
You
mean,
keep going back to the men being the problem, and I'm sorry, the data, the overwhelming reality is the problem is on the inflexibility of the women's side.
my data suggests that, also men do marry women who are less attractive because they are more emotionally available to them. And men like their ego stroke. They like to feel good when they're in a relationship. So I also saw that that's the opposite. So that's what I'm saying is that we have this idea and this conception
And when
of
do they marry these women?
most, you talking about men, high value men, they may be in their 40s, right?
No,
Wanting
no, no, no,
these
no.
thick, cooperative women.
See, this is when this is where the argument comes to disingenuous. High value men, if you see them with average women, I've said this hundreds of times, they got them early, they married early on in life, and that woman worked that way up, built with that man, was his partner. So she got her man because she delayed her gratification and was there as a part of his success. Many women today will tell you they don't want to build a bread or build a boo. They want you to already have it. So that's fine. But here's the thing: when a man puts himself and becomes in the top 10% of earners, he is going to have options. And men who have options worldwide, you look at what men worldwide pick to marry after they're rich, and it is traditionally younger, hotter, fitter women.
Okay, but think about this. If they
Is that
have
true or
options,
false?
why are they
Is that true or
struggling
false?
to
Is that
find
true or false?
women?
Before you move on, is that true or false?
It could be true. I think it's true. Okay, so let's move on from that. Why are they still struggling to find women and partners? And then
Who?
also, if they
Who's
want
struggling
these
to find
physical
women and
things,
partners? Who? Who's struggling to find women
these
and partners?
men, you said that they came to you for this advice on how to find these women, right? They're struggling with their love life. Why? If they have all these things, that's what I'm saying. It's something else
no,
missing,
listen.
Kevin.
No. See, that's where you are partial listening. They're
Okay.
not finding women on their level. I didn't say they were struggling. What they're doing is expanding their dating options because black women, most people want to marry their own people.
They
But if you're,
unrealistic.
no,
That's why.
hold on.
That's why.
You
They
can't even let
unrealistic.
me. You can't even let me answer. You
I'm
want to
sorry.
again?
I'm
Men
sorry.
are
I thought you was done.
men.
I thought you was
No,
done.
men are tired of you. No, when a man has made himself the best version of himself, and he looks around and he looks and says, "You know what? I at least want a woman who's fit."
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't get a woman who is, what is the average weight of a black woman in this country?
You asking me? I don't know.
187 pounds.
Okay.
And what is the average weight of the American man? 168 pounds. The average black woman is almost 20 pounds more than a man. So when men have had to go to college or go to blue collar, get a job, career, get out there, hustle, whatever, and all he's asking is, can you just be fit so I can have a woman who has another 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds to put on after childbirth? They can't even get that. That's the struggle. Not that women don't exist, is that the women don't exist in the way that they need to exist. And you got to tell me that there is a reason that a single woman with no children is 200 plus pounds.
Well, I'm not justifying that. And obviously,
It can't be
I
justified.
do think, no, I think that being fit and being beautiful and being cooperative is essential in a relationship. Do I think that that is the only thing that you
Doesn't
need to
matter.
look for in
But
a
who said
woman?
it's the only
No,
thing? But if it's a starting point, but see, that's the
it's a
thing.
starting point. It's the
You keep
initial
going
thing.
back. You keep going back. Okay, and if it's the starting point and it matters, 8 out of 10 Black women are automatically deleted. There are women who are advocates for dating out, swirling, who even would say, you know what? I had to stop talking to my women about fitness to even incent them to dating out. It's not that they won't get fit for Black men; they won't get fit for any men.
But you also have to understand that every man has their own standard of beauty. And so, yeah,
This
you
is what
may
we do.
feel
We
like,
keep going
so
back
you
to the.
judge women based on
Okay, then if
this.
that's the case, we shouldn't have Miss Universe or people's most beautiful person. That's
And sometimes the
that's a
people who
point
win
looking
are
for an
not the most
argument.
beautiful.
Okay, but there is
They have other things
hold
that
on.
makes
If
them.
that's the case, then why do we have so much facts, that data and statistics, psychology on beauty? Why do we have such a plethora of studies done with animals and babies, showing them pictures of faces and faces that have the Fibonacci sequence, feed the golden ratio, more symmetrical faces, more babies smile at those pictures worldwide, regardless of race. Because beauty is not subjective like so many people want to think. It's objective. There's an objective standard of beauty. But then today we've given everybody trophies, said everybody can win. And the reality is, Tawana, if what women is doing is working, why are 1 in 4 women today on some sort of psych med? And their happiness is through the roof and through the floor.
Yeah, I'm not saying that what women are doing is working.
Then who needs
What
to
I'm
change it?
saying is the narrative that you
It's
produce.
not my narrative, man. That's the facts, ma'am. If
Some
they're
of
not
the,
happy,
if they're not
happy,
is your
if they're not happy, whose
opinion.
responsibility is? If those women are not happy, those educated, intelligent, equal women, whose responsibility is it for them to change?
I mean, but you're telling me that
Whose responsibility is it for them to change?
these highly successful
Whose
men
responsibility
are
is for
not finding the women that they
No,
want.
ma'am. You're again. That's
on their level.
Nope. You're now you're gaslighting. I'm back. Nope. I've already addressed that. You're trying to make something out of
I'm gaslighting.
Yeah, because
I'm
I've already said
topic.
what I said. I said they can't find women who have. No, ma'am. I've already said that these men are not finding women.
Also, I can't
finding
go
women.
back
They're
to
not
that
fit. I said they're finding women. They're not fit. Let me say it again. They are finding available females. They're not fit. They failed the fitness test. That disqualifies them. And what you're saying is, well, look at us. Okay, no. Okay, well then, how many hundreds of thousands of men have you spoke to on this issue?
Well, I haven't spoken to thousands of men, but I've spoken to a number of them.
Okay.
And
well, if I've spoken to thousands of men over close to 10 years, I will take my thousands over 10 years versus your few. Because these are understand something. Because these are the men who are picking. These are the men who have the means and the attitude and the desire to get married. And they're not finding women who are fit. See, here's what you're not missing. First off, listen. No, I'm going to address this point. We're going back to my point. Women are not happy and what they're doing is not working. Whose responsibility is it to change this situation?
Women.
Right. And they're not doing it. So if women are unhappy, it's women's responsibility to change it.
Right.
And the first thing they can change is what they see in the mirror, but they're not.
Men are unhappy and they're not changing either. So what do we do?
Men aren't bitching. Men don't have men aren't complaining.
Have you heard
No. You're talking ma'am. For 40 years, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, Oprah, Donahue, we have had daytime talk is littered with we're all the good men. I can't find no men. Just because in the last few months you've seen some MGTOW incel videos, you cannot make that substitute for damn near 50 years of I can't find no man. Men are tired. And what you keep doing is going back to saying, well, men aren't the problem. Men know what they want. Women aren't giving men what they want. And men aren't taking the deal. That's where it is.
Well, I think women are very
about
clear
this.
About
Let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Two things.
Go ahead.
When you adjust for working men, working women, 1-to-1, but when you add one more variable in the Black community, working man with no kids, working Black woman with kids, there are more Black women working with kids than men over here with no children. Basically, what I'm telling you is if you are a man out here, you are finding a woman that has one of these two things off rip,
Right.
overweight or a child.
Okay.
That disqualifies you from high value. So then and those two things can be controlled, true or false?
Absolutely. False.
Well,
True.
Okay. Well, so if a woman says, I want a man who can pay all the bills, I want all these things, and you want a provider male, then it's only fair to say you got to ask the man who has these things, what does he want from a woman? And he says he wants a woman who's fit and childless. You can't get mad at him and say, well, that's superficial.
Okay, well, if we go to the pool and we see that the pool of women, honey.
Okay.
If we see that all of these characteristics that they have decided they want are just unrealistic, right? Or she can be fit and ignorant, or she could be cooperative and don't care about you. So all I'm saying is, if they're looking at these characteristics and not finding what they want, when do they go back and say, let me rethink this?
Well, see,
because this isn't happening for me.
The presumption you keep making is they look at this pool of women, and every woman over here has they're this or they're that. Okay, but there are plenty of pools of women. See, we live in a connected world. That's what the dating apps are for. You got men moving out of the country, the Dominican Republic, going other places to find women, dating outside their race. They're finding it. They can't find it in Black America.
But 85% of them are marrying Black women. So there must be some.
Again, those are two different numbers. I deal with men who are high value. You're blending conversations and conflating arguments. I'm talking about men who have enough, who can make demands.
And what percentage of them exist? Because I don't know. You tell me. Black men
that earn over six figures, 8% in the Black community, but over $75,000, 15% in the Black community. Mm-hmm. These men aren't complaining about not being able to find women. They prefer to marry Black women. And here's the real thing. Black men are far more race loyal than Black women. If Black women could date out like Black men can, you can make a strong argument that they would. There is no black male swirl movement. Black men have been trying to be with Black women. That's why you find a Black man who's been married, divorced. And then you turn around and say, well, fine, I'll start expanding my dating options. And here's the thing. I don't judge people by what they want. I just said, what's the likelihood of you getting what you want? And it is far easier for a man to come to me and me say, you know what? You need to get your money up. You need to get your mind right. You need to get your money up. You need to get your body right. You need to get all these things together. And then you can come back out here. And then men will be like, all right, break. I'm going to come back later. You tell women the same thing. You're shaming me. Well, why can't I have this? Look, the first woman I talked to kept on asking, why? The women don't want to change because you've been told, take me as I am. I'm good enough.
The women who call you, if you're not mentally stable, they don't even know who they are. Okay.
See, I cannot allow you to do that.
They don't.
No, I cannot allow you to do that because you're basically saying that this is where we're going to have a problem, because this is when you step in and say those women are challenged. That's why I say you come after my audience, and that's wrong. And
I don't come after your audience,
no, ma'am. And
I don't.
That is not even close to being cool. You have made a psychological adjustment. They got to be something wrong. Got to be wrong with them that they calling in for this. No, maybe just because you wouldn't do it, but there are a lot of things that you wouldn't do that somebody else would do. Just say it ain't for you. Don't sit around and say there's something psychologically wrong with them.
I don't think that it's for me, and I'm not trying to judge them, but I do think that you have to have some mental stability to handle some of your criticism. I think it could be damaging to a woman who is mentally unstable.
Are you serious?
Some of them sound
so
that
what
way.
About what women do to men? I don't want no scrubs. Ain't nothing going on with the who is more mentally and verbally abusive, men or women?
You asking me in my opinion?
Yeah, where's nuclear rejection come from? Is that a
I
term that
think
comes from
men,
men to women or women to men?
I think men are
And,
definitely.
and thank you. Thank you for proving what I said initially. Most problems today with women is you don't know or understand men. You don't know them. So to say that you think men are more verbally and mentally abusive when you can see a woman who's 5 foot nothing cussing a 300-pound man out, you son of a punk bitch, you rarely
Well, I
ever.
haven't seen that.
Okay, audience, for us to live in the real world, whether you've seen it in person, you know it happens. You don't see men
Well,
yelling at a
I'm not
woman like that
discounting
because
people's experience. I'm just saying that I
even
haven't
if
seen.
a man were to be like that, someone would step in. There are countless videos on YouTube where they have acting teams where men are being violent to a woman in a public place and people swoop in to help a woman. But when that woman's being violent, verbally violent to that man, people walk by.
Mm,
Bottom line is this:
I'm gonna look into
you
that.
think,
I
and
don't know
here's the
nothing
thing.
about that. I don't know
Let
what's
me also
it.
say something too, because you said something about the people who call in can be damaged. Well, I assume that they are. If you're calling in and asking for a high value man, you're productive, competitive, got your grease up, and so forth. You should know where you stand. But I also, what's one of the main things I recommend everybody get?
Counsel.
Right.
I've heard you suggest that. Yeah.
So my question is this: you've asked me 11 million questions, run upside down, one side the other. When are you going to start going to any of these black women on YouTube who give relationship advice and start asking them some of the same hard questions?
Oh, I definitely hold women accountable. You don't
But I said
you
on
don't have to
YouTube.
question that.
But on YouTube. I have not heard. I looked through all the catalog on Let's Talk. I have not seen anybody else's name.
Well, we got to work on the questions maybe. We'll work on that.
But see, the thing is, they don't really exist. Black men are being asked to be perfect, and I reject the. See, everybody else can. Every other group of men are allowed to be fully human. Black men have to be damn near perfect, and it still ain't good enough. And even if I'm 2 + 2 is 4, well, he's divorced. Bottom line is, it's getting results. People are getting what they want
Black
out
women
of it,
have to be
and this.
perfect. You guys are already saying you can't even have a kid, and you know that most black women do. So it's like we can't. We have to be
Let me
damn
stop
near
you right
perfect.
there. Was that child as a result of art? Was that child as a result of forcible RP?
No, but it could be a result of marriage.
Well, that should.
It could be a result of a
No. Those are two
partnership
different
prior to
things.
you.
Those are two different things. A
Right.
single mother has been divorced, but only 1 in 4 black women marry. But if you come to me with another man's child, and I've been a stepfather, it's a horrible deal. See, the fact of the matter is, you guys expect black men just to accept somebody else's.
No, you guys don't want.
Due respect,
You don't
ma'am.
want us to expect
Have you
you to
been
be
around?
perfect.
No,
You're
listen to me.
not perfect.
Listen. No, nobody said about perfect, but it's just reasonable. Have you been around Chinese men, Asian men?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I want you when next time you're around Asian men, I want you to see how many Asian men ask them, "Would you accept a woman who has a child out of a single mother?" They'll laugh at you. Ask a Middle Eastern man. Black men are the men. See, what I don't think is many black women don't realize how lucky you are to have black men. Because by all the measures, black men make the most involved fathers and the best mates. That's why so many women from other cultures who have real patriarchies and real things going on rush to try to get black men because we are more willing to listen to our women. But what do black men get for that? They've gotten larger women who are more aggressive, less cooperative, and more kids. So do you, with a straight face, you can say that you should be able to come to a man who has had to work his ass off to put himself in the top 10% of men and think he should have to pay for another man's child who's not an asset to him. That's insane.
I think that you should consider other attributes that the woman have,
Yeah.
like nurturing. She can
Well,
be
how
loyal.
about,
She
and
can be
okay,
loving.
okay, let's say that's true. And I
Right.
also, I can find that with a woman without a kid because I got
You
options.
could. You could.
And
You
and
might
they
find
do.
it with a
And the
woman with
thing
a
is,
kid.
and see, that's the problem, Tawana. The problem is because that's what's happening. Because men who I talk to and deal with have options. Because all the women you're talking about that you should consider the other attributes, yeah, she's got a kid. You can find all these things in a woman who doesn't have a kid.
Well,
And
I'm talking about longevity, right? I'm not
and
talking
longevity,
about.
you got better. And who's the thing? The man gets to pick. And if he wants to pick the one with no kids, that's his choice.
That is his choice,
She
but they're
chose to
not
have a
choosing
child,
that
right?
because they're still single and looking.
Excuse me?
they're not choosing because they're
Again,
still
like I
looking
said, you're
and
conflating
questioning.
stuff. Black men are more married than black women, and there are fewer of us. The facts are
It's
stubborn
a small
things.
percentage, though. You say
I
it
don't.
like
A
it's a
small
huge, like
percentage,
it's a huge,
847,000 more marriages in a group of 40 million people. Are you
but you have
serious?
to look at the
Okay.
percentages. It's like a 2%
All right, and as a
higher.
percent, okay, like it or not, you can dance all around it. Black men, especially black men, Generation X, who have made it through the crack wars, Reaganomics, everything else, they're doing fine. You don't see black men complaining. What you see is women in the no man's land over 36, mad, angry, complaining.
Well, only 33% are still married. Let's just say that.
And if it's three of them, they ain't worried about it.
I'm just saying they don't last. The longevity is
So
not
what?
there.
So what?
Looking
So what?
okay. So
And,
when is looks
let's
and
talk about
money?
that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
52% divorce rate in America. It's higher in the black community. But who files the divorce rate? Who files divorce in the black community the most?
They say women.
They? Is it true or false?
But let me tell you something, Kevin. I was divorced. And the reason I filed is because at that time I didn't have income. And so it was beneficial for me to file so that those
Okay, but
fees could
that's
get.
you.
So it's not
That's you.
always just
That's you.
because we
80%,
just want to
ma'am.
get a divorce right
80%.
away. That's what I'm
80%.
saying.
80%. Even if 80%. Even if I gave
You just leave no room
no,
for other
listen.
interpretation.
No, what I do is numbers are numbers. Let me finish what I'm saying. Even at
Okay.
80%, even if I gave you that half of 80%, 40% are for the worst parts of the Bible, the worst stuff. He's beating you with kittens. I mean, the worst parts, he's sleeping with your sister.
Oh
The
my
worst
goodness.
parts, there's still 4 out of 10 broken families coming as a result of a black woman filing. It's still twice as many as men. The reality is black men want relationships. They want to be married to black women. They want to stay married to black women. And when they get married, they don't leave them. Black women leave. And that's not the story that's been told to us my entire lifetime. We've been told that black men don't want to be married. They have kids all over the place. When they make a certain amount of money, they marry white women. And I'm sorry, we have enough data.
Let's change that narrative for sure.
Well,
because that's
the
not
only
true.
way you're going to change that narrative is you change the women.
Right.
Because the men aren't breaking see, we call it divorce. Let's start calling it black women break their families.
I mean, not just women though, Kevin. I feel like the men need to change as well. But
I'm talking about
you're not
marriages.
open to that.
I'm talking
You're not
about
open to
marriages.
that.
You kept going into marriages not lasting. They don't last because women leave.
It's not just women. It takes
8
two.
out of 10 times it's women.
It takes two.
8 out of 10 times it's women. You're a smart woman. Do you work on the 8 or do you work on the 2? You're a smart woman. Which one you do?
I love your analytical skills, but I do
It's
believe
true.
that
It's true. It's 8 out of 10. See,
I don't believe that you're it's very limited, and that's my
ma'am,
problem.
8 over here, 2 over here.
I don't hate you, Kevin. I don't hate you. I hear you.
You have no reason to hate me because it's the truth. See, the thing is, it's the truth. It's just that this sisterhood, this beef for women, and your emotion over logic and reason is so strong. And this is why our community.
I think I'm being logical. I'm not being emotional at all.
Well, okay, but I asked you.
Yes. What do you ask?
In the marriages that happen because you don't have enough of them. Let's take that. Black women are the least to be married in the entire world.
Right.
But why are you divorcing? Why are you twice as likely to file for divorce as you will to be married? You file for divorces at twice the marriage rate. If that's the case, and everybody knows you're least likely to be married, if you're one of the 4, why are you leaving at 80% rate? You should want to fight. Because based
on your woman to man ratio, we don't have enough men to marry anyway. So we need.
There's not enough men. Now, see, that won't work either. Because on the planet, there are always more females than men. If every man married every woman, if every man available married every woman, there'd still be millions of women left. So you can't keep moving the goalposts without dealing with.
Well, let me ask you this: do they consider like homosexual? Like in that number, right? Is homosexuality considered, right? Because everybody's not heterosexual. So is all of these right?
What do you mean? Then what number?
The number you're saying of available bachelors. right? Or men. So in these high value men, right? How many of them are actually heterosexual looking for women?
Okay, there's not a large, the percentage is the same. There's not more gay high value black men than there are gay high value white men.
No, I'm just saying in general, how do we know what the pool is
Okay,
like?
the point is, again, cart before the horse. You're looking for an argument.
I'm not looking for
Still,
an argument. I'm
yes,
asking
you
you
are,
a
because
question.
and what's the number? And let's say that let's say it's 20%, which is ridiculous. It's close to probably about 3 or 5. There's the same amount of gay men everywhere. The number doesn't change with income and education and status.
Well, for us, it lessens the pool even more.
The
Because
pool is not
it's
okay.
not okay.
First of all, the pool is not lessened by the availability of men. The pool is lessened by the availability of fit women, and that's where you and I differ. You keep
Yeah,
going
because
on.
I don't agree with that
Well,
argument at all.
but ask the men.
Mm-hmm. Well, our foundations are opposite.
Your foundations are to tell women what makes them feel good. Ask the men. You ask the customer.
My
Why they're
foundation
not.
is based on my
You
personal
ask the
experiences with love
customer.
and relationship.
Okay, fine. You ask the customer why they're not buying the product. You don't chastise them for not buying the product.
I
You
agree.
ask them. Okay. And when have black women ever really sat down collectively and asked black men what they want?
Well, we need to have that conversation.
Well,
I mean, I
you
think
don't
that
even
it's
need to have
happened.
it. Black men have been screaming it for my entire lifetime. They've been
I mean, I
screaming
think that we have asked, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Really?
I think that we have
So
asked.
if you've asked, okay, then are they giving it to black men? Because black men just want you to be cooperative, fit in your own hair.
I'm asking you these questions and you know, opposite of what they're asking for is, are these characteristics going to really sustain them in
You
a
you
relationship?
keep moving down the path. You keep trying to go down the path. You got to get in a relationship before you can talk about sustenance.
Right.
And they can't get them. They can't get them because cooperation, fitness, hair, add in kid. You keep trying, and see why you keep trying to go down the path is because if you stay
Because they
here,
missing out on good women.
know
That's
your presumption.
That's
So
my
your presumption is, see what you keep
that's
going
my
back
truth.
to.
That's not a subjective truth. That's the real
You
truth.
can, okay, whatever. And the truth of the matter is, black women are dying alone.
Mm-hmm. And so are black men because they can't find.
Black men are not. No, black men aren't, and they're not complaining about it.
You know, they not complaining because men have been taught not to even express their emotion. It ain't got nothing to do with them not being happy.
We keep going back around to this. You keep telling men who they are and what they are. I don't know how
I'm
many.
not telling them how to be a man, but
You keep
communicating what I know.
Well, no, but what you know from your female point of view.
No, I know from men's mouth.
Mm-hmm. The limited amount of men you know. Again, I asked you how many men, and the few men you know, and you even had a man on the panel who's actually even had to moderate. Ma'am, see, this is why I said to the first woman, when do y'all really just sit down and get quiet and listen to the men? When do y'all just back down and say, yes?
Well, I think I've listened to you.
No,
I think the purpose of
as a group,
yeah,
though.
as a group.
When do black women ever just sit down, be quiet, listen, and give men what they're asking for?
I do all the time. I guess that's why I have a man.
Exactly. Okay. Well, but I said as a group, though.
I mean, it needs to happen.
Okay,
Absolutely.
but why doesn't it?
You know, every other culture, this is just my opinion. Every other culture have a patriarchal, society. And black people, we had the opposite, where women were given housing and told to, get the man out the home and given financial security without having a man in the house. So like we have to rebuild and change the perception of that in order for us to
question. But I asked, why don't they give men what they want?
Because it's not it wasn't a patriarchal society for black people for so long, and maybe we need to kind of restructure.
How about this?
Right?
How about this? Before 1965, we were married at a rate of 80%. In the worst parts of Jim Crow, segregation, and everything, black folks know how to be married. See, back then, though, black women still thought, when you said black women saw themselves as us. Now, black women, for the most part, see themselves separate from us. In many cases, better. There's a low-level lack of contempt and lack of respect for the average black woman to the average black male image. So why do black women not give black men what they want? Because they don't have respect for black men. That's why you can have women come onto this platform, and I'm a 50-year-old man, and they talk to me at 20 years old like I'm their age.
Yeah. I would never do that to you.
But my
So
point, and the thing is, but who did it hurt? It doesn't
right.
hurt me.
Right.
And the thing is, other groups see this. See, what black women is doing is not working, because it's not as though you're not giving black men what they want because they got to build Wakanda before I submit to them. Okay. All right. So black men took all those L's and the crack ears and came back and did something. Said, okay, now here we are. And you can't get that. All right. You still ain't going to submit, still ain't going to cooperate. All right. But who are you submitting or cooperating to? Because Brad, Lee, Ahmed, and Enrique ain't coming over to marry black women either.
You know what I will say, that your Tommy Lauren depiction of, like, that was a clearer picture of what you mean by, cooperation and women just, being able to apologize and humble and
Right.
and work with black men. So I think maybe, like, if people saw that, they would understand.
Well, I mean,
that
the things I've
right?
said, the woman I had the conversation with wasn't triggered. The women I've talked to, but then I got women calling me, you're a fag and you this, you that. I mean, you got women who are seem like they almost want to bust the blood vessel, and they don't know me. But the fact that a black man is just having to stand on something that most other black men are saying, the notion is, who are you? Get back in your place. And I am sorry. We may have not had a patriarchy where we had our own land, but we did know how to do this. We had ourselves a community and a family. And I've asked this question before. It's broken. It's broken. Our grandparents and our great grandparents, under all this racism, white supremacy, had something. It's broken. Who needs to come back to the table first? Black men or black women?
We got to do it collectively. I don't think we need to keep separating. That's the problem.
That's where you are going to. That's the problem, because black men never left the table. Black women did.
I don't believe black women. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, then where are you at? Not you. Where are you at? Where are your husbands?
You're saying, where are women?
Where are you at? Because I'm going out to Papado tomorrow, and I guarantee you, I will see a big mama with her daughters and her daughters with kids and a bunch of kids. I'll take pictures, and I will show you 10, 12 women and kids around Atlanta. Anytime I go out, I see groups of women. Where are your men at? I go to La Bella Bouquet, and there's white couples and groups and everything else. Everybody else, black women are there, and the only man that's there is their gay makeup artist or hairstylist. No shade to them. But where are your men at?
Kevin, I have 2 children, and I keep myself fit. So
but are you the norm or are you the exception for the fitness stuff?
What do you think, Kevin? You think I'm the exception?
I said, are you the norm for fitness or are you the exception?
Well, I'm asking what you think. I mean, because I thought that I represent.
If you said you're fit, you're the exception. Because I have women who come over here, non-black women, who are married with 4 kids. Doctor, went to the Mayo Clinic, married to a guy who makes a fifth of what she makes, and she's submissive to him.
Right.
The average black man makes $41,000. Average white man makes $52,000. There's $11,000 difference between the average black man and white man in income in this country. But there's more than $11,000 difference in the treatment the way the average black man and black man gets treated by his woman. And people see that. Mm-hmm. People see that, and they're like, how do you put up with, ain't nobody rushing to marry black women. But we are all you got.
But see, this is the thing too, Kevin. People hear your perception of black women, and that is also troubling.
No, ma'am, troubling. I am sorry. Before they hear my perception of the truth, they see you in HR, customer service. They see you. What do they put black women in companies? They put black women in companies to defend their money. They take that strong, independent attitude, HR, customer service, collections. They weaponize your sass to protect their profits. Mm-hmm. And women have taken that, and instead of saying, you know what, I'm a worker or a man, you're more married to the white structure than you are to your black men. So don't say when people hear my depiction, because I'm just saying I'm talking to women and hearing what they're saying. I'm not depicting them anyway. I'm having conversations real time, unedited, and people can make their own decisions. But then I also have a conversation with women yesterday with the woman's face I blurred out. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Did you watch the conversation where when I told a woman she's in tears, go back to your husband? How many marriages have I fixed or resolved? How many times
Yeah,
have
I
we?
did see
Thank
that one.
you. But you don't. But that's not sensational. It's all you just bad and you bash and such and so forth. And it's easy for you to believe that about black men because maybe not you, but most black men don't think black men are shit anyway. So all you got to do is give them something bad, and it's quicker to believe that. Don't matter how many videos are out there. It's all there.
I will admit that I did more research, because I wanted to stick to the topic and I followed your rules. I wanted to have a dialogue and learn something. So that is what I did. I did watch more videos.
Isn't
I
that
mean, I still disagree with the ranking, but I do understand your
why?
reasoning, but I disagree with it
Why?
because you gonna rank them anyway on the surface level, so don't even set women up to rank themselves. Don't do that.
Hold on. Hold on. Why do you disagree with rankings?
I just told you, I feel like they don't consider the whole entire woman. Like you're pretty much shrinking them down to
No,
their physical characteristics.
that's the starting point. I mean, ma'am,
Understand?
do you not realize? Do you think your looks have played any role in your success in life?
Hmm.
Yes
Yes.
or no?
Yeah.
Well, then, and
Yes.
see, what I do is I acknowledge that to be true. That's why we have Miss America and Miss Universe, the homecoming queen. That's why you have to have a certain height and a certain look to be a model.
Yeah.
And when you put uh Tess Holiday or Gabrielle Sidibe on the cover of something to try to force it down people's throat, they say no.
But it's just
Rankings are
problematic to
real.
compare women to those women because that's not real, right? Like
Compare
a,
women to what
a
women?
fitness model. Like, come on now. You can't, you gonna compare, an
I compare
average,
black women to I compare black. You know what I compare black women to? Black women. What
right?
is my major comparison to black women? I take black women today and I compare them against black women in the 70s. Pam Grier, Thelma on Good Times, and I tell you, go look in your family album. That's how
Hmm.
you're supposed to look. I don't compare them. See, y'all keep trying to make me be something I'm not. Pam Grier in the 1970s was a shapely, Coke bottle shaped woman. What dress size was she? 8.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. All right.
8. All that body, 8. Thelma, dress size 6. Go watch Soul Train reruns. That's how you're supposed to look. So I'm not sitting there saying you got to look like Bo Derek or white women. That's
Mhm.
another talking point to just say, you know what? To invalidate what a black man is saying. Why do
Mhm.
so many? Why do you think it's so easy for black women to invalidate what a black man is saying?
Because we don't. I mean, essentially, Black women, they are in power. They are in positions to support themselves, right? So men don't control their wealth or access. So I think it could be easy for you to not really
Well,
have respect for that. I mean, I'm not saying that that's cool. I'm just telling you this is a
well,
reason
and
why
and if the
I
and the
can see.
fact of the matter is, every other group knows that.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't need. We talk about racism, white supremacy, and all these things, and these things exist. But more than I've ever been damaged by that system, I've had far more damage from the person that shares the bed with me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that is not, I mean, you may not like Donald Trump, but white women voted for Donald Trump
Right.
because they knew that regardless if they were feminist or womanist or whatever, that they have to raise their sons to run these companies and organizations. Are black women raising their boys to be in positions of power? They read at the fourth grade level. They're more concerned that their boys are cute with the latest J's. But are
Mm.
they putting them in the trade classes? Or put them in foreign languages, science, engineering, technology, math? Forget the men. What are you doing with your boys? And see, all the stuff that I talk about that never gets heard about, the scholarship I'm about to put out, and the internships that are coming out of my pocket But all they want to talk about is how you talk about black women. Well, this year I've said I'm tired of doing that. Put it on the wood. Show me people who are getting better outcomes and results from their platform and their work. And all I've heard is, all right, man, we're going to get on to the next part.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Man, this episode, this is a long one. And quite frankly, it was so many things I could tackle in this one, right? But all in all, I know this was a respected person that Kevin knew. And that's clearly why she was able to come on here and spew a lot of nonsense. But, all in all, I still think she was a bit disingenuous when it came down to the answers and the plight of men in general, not just black men, but men. These are things that should be easily identified and picked up on. But all in all, still something that we can teach and show other people. But let me know what you think. Leave it in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.